It's a bad day for Boston, but I think that if we pull together, we'll get through it. We're a strong city. A lot of people are willing to work together to make this a better place for all our people. And so as we gather here today with all our officials, let's say Boston will overcome.
That from Tom Menino, the mayor of Boston for 2 decades, who checked himself out of the hospital with a broken leg to take care of his city. It was supposed to be the most joyful day of the year in Boston, Patriots Day. Instead, as the cover of the Boston Herald characterized it today, terror at the finish line. Shelley Cohen is editorial page editor for the Boston Herald. She lives in the neighborhood where the blast happened. And in a moving editorial today called Monday, the Day Boston Lost Its Innocence. Shelley, thanks so much for being with us. And I wanted to start actually with a quote that struck me from your piece. You said, in the years post 9/11, we've grown contemptuous of the host of silly rules and regulations designed to give the appearance of keeping us safe when we know in our hearts that there is no such thing as safe anymore. By all accounts, all the rules and protocol were followed yesterday. Do you feel more contemptuous than ever of those rules, or do you feel like we need to pay more attention to them now?
Well, I think we will be in the usual vicious cycle. We will put up with them again. We will have our bags searched when we're going into the subway station again until we get tired of that and we get contemptuous of that again because it is all for show. I mean, that's all we had yesterday. There were the bomb sniffing dogs. They just happened to be sniffing on the wrong side of the street. And so we will never actually be safe unless we want to do things like other countries have done, like Israel has done. If we want to have armed guards at every T station for the rest of our natural days, if we want to have armed guards in front of hotels and restaurants and nightclubs, we can probably be safe, or at least safer. We're Americans, we're Bostonians, we're not going to put up with that for very long.
Powerful words, Shelley. Let's talk about the past a little bit. I grew up in Boston, and I remember how Patriots Day was always special. The schools and the businesses would close. The Sox would play at 11. The marathon would go off. And it was sort of a citywide party in this big city that has a small town feel. Explain to people who have not experienced that how important Patriots Day is to this city.
It is. It's in fact a weekend-long block party. It starts on Friday with the closures of Dartmouth Street, which is just down the road a piece from me. There are families coming into town just for the sports expo, to see the other runners who come from all over the world. I ran along the river on Saturday with some Kenyans, actually kept up with them for about 5.5 seconds, too. But it is, and it's fun, and it is very much a family event. And that's what's so very tragic about this, because everyone knows that. And those who were here to disrupt it took advantage of that family feel. Every runner always knows what it's like to turn that corner onto Boylston Street and just see nothing but the finish line ahead of you and family cheering you on along the sidelines and thousands of people. It's a beautiful thing, and that was taken away from us yesterday. Won't be taken away from us forever, however.
Well, absolutely. And Shelley, I know, I get the sense, New Yorkers are sort of unfortunately braced for this kind of thing at all times. I get the same sense when I go down to D.C., which I do frequently, that there's just this sense that that kind of attack could happen at any time. But having grown up in Boston, it seems another world down there. Boston seems small and insulated and precious, as you put it, innocent. In their wildest dreams, could Bostonians conceive, could they imagine of this sort of thing happening during the Boston Marathon on a day like yesterday?
Well, no. In fact, if we had a target that we fear the most, it would be July 4th, when 500,000 people gather by the river for a concert. So do we think we could be a target? Yes, I think we're not so naive as to think we could never be targeted. But this other day that used to belong uniquely to us, Marathon Patriots Day, it was all ours. And that's the saddest part of all. So I loved your word precious. Yes, we do feel a bit of that. It's just that no one is safe all the time.
Yeah.
You know, Shelley, this particular incident and murder has been reported out live, not only by the media, but by a lot of social media and with a lot of rumors and a lot of photos and live videos and short video clips on one of the new video services called Vine, for example. People were replaying these on a loop. We have an obligation to tell this story, even if it involves a murderous attack on the United States and our citizens. On the other hand, as you know, there's a lot of really important questions about how to do that right. Are you concerned, being from the neighborhood and in the city, about just how many photos and videos have been live sort of shared without context?
Not too dreadfully. I was a teacher of journalism and sometimes teach and guest lecture at classes. I'm more concerned about what students pick up along the way. There is always that danger among the naive. But I think most people, especially in this community, can sort the good from the bad, the real from the not so real. Social media was used fairly well yesterday when I know our website went down for a time, the Boston Globe's website went down for a time simply because of the traffic, and everyone went to Twitter accounts, which was a good thing. There is nothing new about a lot of garbage being out on the net. That's a universal problem. I'm not sure this is any worse than any other day. We'll get through that piece of it too.
All right, Shelley Cohen, thank you so much for being with us.
Good to be with you, and welcome to my neighborhood again.
Thank you.